shit.
By the way, this episode is brought to you by Diet Henny.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Aaliyah Michelle.
And I'm Mugga Reese, and this is Unrecognized Real +2. We in here today. No Brother Man, he couldn't be here today, but we definitely gonna hold it down. And Leah, I'll give you the honors of introducing our two guests that we have here.
Okay. So we have the hosts of Black in Therapy podcast, Donna and Sarah Ashley. Y'all can introduce yourself.
We could have got some like applause in there.
I know. But add that in. Hey yo, what's up? It's Donna.
Hey everybody, I'm Sarah Ashley.
And that's it. Y'all ain't going like.
Oh, y'all want to like talk? What y'all want to know?
Well, first and foremost, how was y'all week? Let me just start off with that because I like to have a little bit of manners. So yeah, how was y'all week like?
My week was chilling. I haven't really been working, but chilling.
Oh, lucky you! Like,
I mean, I got work to do.
Right.
You ain't been doing it.
I just been resting more than working, but I've been having a good week though.
Yeah, same. I can't complain about the week. I mean, it was chill. It wasn't nothing exciting. It was nothing exciting happened, nothing groundbreaking. It was just a regular week. Kind of boring, actually.
I'll take boring though.
Yours wasn't boring?
I'll take boring.
Oh, yeah.
I take boring too, yeah.
Like low key, it was like, okay. Can we get to the weekend? Can we get to something more exciting? But yeah, it wasn't nothing crazy. Y'all had good weeks?
My week was good. And usually, like, my days off is like Thursday, Friday. So today I was just hyped, like, oh shit, I'm off tomorrow.
So you got a whole day tomorrow. Yeah, we ain't recording. All right.
Right. We ain't recording Mario with my sister. So I'm like, all right.
Oh, yeah, you better show up. Yeah, take a shot. You deserve it. Like, you deserve it. My week was regular degular, nothing too crazy either. I just worked the whole time. I did, however, remember last time we was here, Lee, we talked. I said I had a story to tell, and I forgot what it was. I remember what it was now, like, and it was actually something that didn't happen last week. It happened a while ago, but enough time has passed where I feel like I could talk about it, like, right? And I just want to start.
You have some crazy stories. I'm just.
It was something weird. I don't know. I wish Bang was here because he could just talk if he ever experienced something like this. So a while, it's probably about over a year ago, right? I was in my dating phase, you know what I'm saying? I was in my little dating phase, and I was dating girls, and this one girl in particular, I hope she don't listen. I hope she do listen, because it would be funny to do. So, we went on a date or whatever, right? Down South Street, we grabbed something to eat, whatever. The table wasn't ready. Mind you, this is before COVID, so we was able to. I'm out there, I could breathe and shit, right? So like, the table wasn't ready. So while we waited, she decided to go to the sex store. What's that shit called on South Street?
Condom Kingdom.
Condom King. Yeah. So mind you, I've never been in a sex store in my entire life. Like I've never been in a sex store. So this is like interesting. Like, okay. Like, all right, let's go to the store.
Was she on first date?
So yes.
So you didn't know her at all prior to this? I
did not know her enough for us to be going to the damn sex store. I'm just tell you that much. Like, so we go in the sex store and shit, right? And I'm thinking we just in here to burn time or whatever, like. And she like looking at shit like dildos and everything. Like, yeah, this one cool. She like looking at it like, yeah, it need a little bit more size on it. Oh, this one, the speed is kind of low. Like she she know the shit she talking about. I'm just here like, this is very, very interesting. Like, So as we proceed, in the store or whatever, she actually like go to purchase something like a sex toy, and I'm just like, how like why? Like, I don't know how to act or how to even, like, behave in this area. It's, like, weird to me. Like, I don't know if this, like, a thing you do or maybe she trying to tell me, like, look, this is what I get into. So make sure if you want to take this any further, you need to be, ready for this shit. So, I'm in there and then I'm like, I hope she don't think I'm about to pay for this shit. Like, this shit, like, I don't know if y'all bought sex toys or not, but like shit is expensive. Like, I'm just doing like, damn, like all that for a vibrator. Like this shit is expensive and shit. And it's like, yo, it's like, it was uncomfortable, but at the same time, it was like, I feel like at the same time, I felt more of like maybe I can open up a little more just because if she was that open enough to be like in the sex store, like really shopping for some shit, I'm like, all right. maybe she might be a little more down to earth than I was thinking or whatever. Like, and then after she brought a little toy, then we went and got something to eat. Like, and the rest of the day was cool too. It was popping. It was all that. You know what I'm saying? It just was weird as hell to me. Like, yo, we really went in here for the sex toy. Like,
So did y'all talk about it at dinner?
No, did we? I don't think we did.
I was about to say, I don't know. Like, what is this
like,
something that you do often?
It was crazy. I mean, I'm good at starting conversations, so I was gonna hold that in a tuck. Like, maybe it ain't. The first date never the time to be trying to talk about anything that got involved with sex, except for like if you had any STDs. Other than that, I feel like on the first date you should not be talking about anything. It's just weird sometimes. So yeah, I was just sitting there like she had that little bag on the table and shit. Like I was just like, yo, this is totally different. Like I've never experienced anything like that before. Like it just was like, wow, like okay, all right, like cool. Like for me, it felt like either she was sending me a message in a way I just couldn't figure out what's the message. Like, is the message is you just
did y'all
go
on the second date?
Shit, or we did go on the second date? Yeah, we did. But like like I was just sitting like, is you trying to tell me you be on some freak shit, or is you trying to tell me like you ain't getting any, so you need a sex toy? Like I really don't know. Like she was really in the store, like
that's why you should have
giving her a review of like giving her a review of all the toys. Like it was like like I don't know.
You ain't bring it up on the second date?
No, I ain't ever bring it up. I didn't.
Why'd y'all stop dating?
Just time. Like I was working 2 jobs at the time. It was just like like she was demanding a lot of times. Like look, honestly, I ain't got it. Like, when you ask a nigga for some money and he ain't trying to get to you like that. I'm like, look, man, I ain't got it. Like, yo, it was just that. So, yeah, but she was a cool person and all that. She actually came to one of our shows, like, one of our live events. Yeah, like, it was a shot like, oh, okay. She bring a date and everything. Like, oh, all right.
Oh, wow.
Hey, nice to see you. Like, cool. Like, all right. Like,
I would have date though.
But she left before we did, because, I don't know if y'all ever seen any of our shows. Aaliyah throws, her the Speak Poetry show. So, the whole front half of the show is, poetry or just anybody just performing, whatever, right? And then we follow that up with the live podcast. So I did know, like, I was gonna get my shit off, like just because she was there, but she decided to leave before the podcast. And I was like, damn, all right, you got out of there, you lucky. But yeah, but no, it was just a weird experience. I don't know. Like, my question is, y'all, would y'all ever be comfortable enough to go dildo shopping with a person y'all pursuing or y'all on a date with? Like,
not the first date.
Not the first date.
I mean, if we're
second
dating,
date.
If we've been together for a while, then I don't see a problem with it. But not on the first date. That's awkward. But I mean, she clearly felt comfortable enough to.
Clearly, right. And it was like, it just was different to be like, yo, this.
Or maybe it was just out of convenience. Like, while I'm here, I'm gonna grab this, and if.
See, maybe I don't know. Like, but I really don't know how to feel about the whole event. It was just weird. And then, like I said, like, because at that time I was dating her, we was doing a podcast. I couldn't just say, because she was listening to the podcast, so I couldn't be like, yo, let me tell you how this bit. Like, no, I couldn't really get into that at that time. So it was like, all right, I gotta sit on this information. And then now I thought about like, damn, I remember this whole story. Let me go tell them about it. But I forgot last week. But now we in here talking about now. But yeah, but other than that, like. Other than that situation, yeah, like my week was regular though, a little regular degular, like, but yeah, people get excited when whenever we got one. Listen, like I told you, I produce podcasts. So one of the other podcasts, shout out to Bella, I come in here, it's her podcast, whatever. So she always had like these other like women in here, all types of baddies. So you could imagine how this window look in front of me when it's all dudes here, like they be in there looking like. I go in the hallway to go get something to drink. Say, like, bro, you need help? Like, you need someone to hold the cat. Like, no, we good. Like, I don't know, it'd be funny in the jump, but I don't know. But yeah, y'all want let's get into it though. Like, let's get into our topics today. So, the theme for today is therapy. Me and Leah and Bang, we talked about it. Like, yo, we should get a therapist to come on and really talk about some of the just issues that we had, like our ongoing theme of the show. If you ever listen to it, you would notice we talk a lot about like social issues and like a lot of things that happen in our culture. A lot of things is like taboo or cliche, whatever. But it's different when it comes from someone that works like in that field, like just the field of therapy. So off the top, can y'all talk about, first and foremost, can y'all tell us about your experience so far in regards to that?
You want to go first? Go So you just want background, right?
Well, yeah, I want to let people know why y'all qualified to even tell, you know.
So I have my undergrad degree in biblical studies and human services. I actually have my grad degree, my master's degree in counseling from Lincoln University. I have a nonprofit called Dare to Hope, and we kind of do suicide prevention and awareness. I've been doing that for like almost 8 years now. We have just actually prayerfully have another contract with another school. Had a meeting today about that. So we have like a 6-week program where we go and teach like mental wellness, and there's different components of it. And at the end they get a certificate and all these things. So I have Dare to Hope, and and I also have a mental wellness clothing brand that we kind of promote mental wellness in the Black community. So that's, I guess, what qualifies me to do this.
Yeah, and just like Sarah, we both graduated with our masters in counseling. My undergrad is actually in criminal justice, and then my master's is obviously in counseling. So we are obviously counselors. We work as therapists. I feel like Sarah didn't say that. Like,
oh, I have clients. I am a master's level clinician. Right. I am. Okay.
She has current therapy clients, which are, I believe, mostly like teenagers and adults.
Millennials, yeah, teenagers and millennials.
And millennials. I work mainly with children. So I do work with mostly like community behavioral health, like kind of like low income, any type of time you have like kids that's in school that get referrals. Like I work with those type of kids that come from like public schools. I mean, some private schools, but most of my clients come from a school or referral agency that sees something in a child that, you know, realizes they need some type of intervention or something.
Okay.
So I mostly do children. And yeah, so we're master's levels clinicians. I guess that's what qualifies us. We'll be getting licensed soon, God willing.
Your license, what's that, like LPN or?
LPC.
LPC.
Okay, yeah,
right.
okay.
So,
I know a little bit. I know them level, you know. I actually, so a lot of people probably don't know, Aaliyah know, but I went to school for teaching. I mean, I only did like 3 years or whatever, but during the time, you know, you got to do your student observations or whatever. You got to do special education every now and then. So a couple times I was doing these observations. You know, I was the last school I was in Ben Franklin, right? And when you think special education, like the average person, the image that you come up, it wasn't what I wouldn't never think about, like behavior health. It never crossed my mind. But then, you know, just going to school and learning more of it, it's like, damn, that's like a major thing. And like you were saying, like you just coming from kids schools where they got referral and everything, and just sitting there and seeing that, I could understand, like, I don't know if I could ever do that ever. Like I was in these classes and it's like, yo, and the kids was kind of older. Like they were like probably like 20, 18, some of them, like, and they just been there because you know the school system, like I think the system failed them, whatever. But like just seeing all that, it's like, yeah, I could never do it. Like work with children with behavior issues or any, like it's just like, yeah, nah.
And it's not all behavior. So like people think mental health in children is only behavior. Like it's not always bad behavior. It's a lot of social skills types of things. Right. It's a lot of anxiety. Like anxiety just with everything. Before the pandemic, it's a lot of just anxiety, a lot of social skills. It's a lot of like attention deficit where like you just can't focus. Right. And then it's just now, I think it's more common to think like therapy is like you don't have to necessarily have some type of, you know, diagnosis to, you know, it could just, you know, be adjustment disorder. I feel like adjustment disorder is kind of like the common theme where like everyone has issues with adjusting. Like we're all adjusting to the pandemic. Right. We're all adjusting to a new job or a new school if you move somewhere new. So like I think a lot of times people think like, oh, it's all behavior. It's not all behaviors in kids. It's a lot of different things. Obviously, substance abuse, people, you know, children and their parents. I feel like I be having therapy sessions with kids' parents because they're going through the pandemic and these kids are like driving them, you know, up a wall because they don't know how to navigate. And then as therapists, it's new for us too because we ain't never been through a pandemic, you know, whether you are a new clinician or, you know, been in the game for 20 years, you don't know. So therapy is so much more than like behavior health. It's literally just like being mentally well. And we promote that all the time on the podcast. Right.
Now, what would you, speaking on that, what would you, like, how would you define being mentally well? Like, because I feel like you could never be like 100% like, yo, I don't got no issues, like I'm good up and down the board. I feel like it's like impossible. Like, So what would you describe as being mentally well?
I think the first part of it is that you're aware. Mm-hmm. Like, I think your awareness plays a part in it. Like, so to your point, we're never always going to be 100%, but being aware that something is going good or something is going bad, like, that's important. I think a lot of times people may know that they feel off or know that something's going on, but they don't know what it is and they want to address it. So I think first being aware and then being able to voice that and say, listen, I need some help in this area. I think that's one of the major parts of like living mentally well.
Right, and that's kind of like the first lesson I feel like we had in grad school, and it was more so like you have to like sit in your ish, like you got to sit in whatever it is, and you have to like go through whatever it is that you need to go through to be able to put it on paper, whether it's journaling, which I know Aaliyah is really big on, whatever it is, you have to be aware. So I think mental wellness is obviously about being aware of what's going on, putting it out there, whether you're talking to somebody, whether you're writing it down, knowing when like my mood is this way or this is what's happening, and just knowing how to address it, whether it's medication, whether it's therapy, whether it's whatever your self-care is. You have to know what to do about those days, because you're never going to, I mean, not that you're never going to be 100%. Some days I have, some days I feel like I'm 100%, but sometimes, you know, most times we're not at 100%, but you have to know what to do in those times.
Yeah, you just said something that definitely stuck out. I remember somebody once said to me, say, yo, in order to get through something, you have to go through it. And like this was like years ago, whatever, and it resonates in me now. Like, it's a lot of times, like me personally, I feel like dealing with like a breakup or just like you said, like, you know, having to move abruptly, or like I'm in the army, so dealing with going to Afghanistan at one point in time, like I didn't even realize till fucking years later, like, oh shit, like I was going through a lot of crazy shit at that time. Like I spoke with her recently, like one of our episodes recently. Like I didn't realize it till like I'm talking about like 10 years later, when I sit down and think about like, yo, damn, like that's what I was dealing with during that time. Like, oh shit, and that's like you say, like being aware of like, oh shit, like that was trauma. Like obviously, if I'm still thinking about it, you know, and like I think me or just a lot of people in general, like this, like I said, like a breakup. The first thing most us men do is we go on to the next situation. Like, all right, well, fuck that bitch, I'm out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then we don't sit with it. We don't sit with it. Like, bet you on to the next one, and he's like, it is what it is. And then fucking months later, you find yourself crying on her voicemail and shit. How could you do this to me? How could you do it? It's like, no, like I think like for men, definitely like black men that's old of age, it's like it's hard for us to accept those, like being aware of anything, like your flaws is like, oh shit, like yo, I'm fucked up, like, or I'm just not well, like, you know what I mean? So what would you, like, how is a good way to self-identify, like, yo, something, this ain't right, like I shouldn't be feeling this way, or, you know, I shouldn't be behaving this way? Like, what's a good way to self-identify that? Or can you, like?
Well, first I want to touch on something that you just said. You said it took 10 years, right? Right. That's normally how long it takes somebody to seek treatment, like, honestly. Yeah. Right? So for you to be aware of that and like that 10 year span, like that's normal. How do you become self-aware though? I can only speak for I'll speak for me. Like, it was to the point where I couldn't function anymore. Like, so to your point, I went through a breakup, and it was like traumatic because it was sudden. Like, I didn't think that it was going to happen the way it happened. And I kept crying. Like, I was not myself. I was not myself for a long period of time. And so at that point, I'm like, all right, like I got to get help. I have to like figure this out. And I think for me, like, I guess for me, when I did not feel myself for a long period of time, and I wanted to get back to who I was, that's when I became like aware that I needed to go get help, if that makes sense.
And I think for me, I think the easiest way to kind of convey that to other people is when you feel like you're existing, but you're not living, like, or you're not like again, feeling like yourself. I think that's the easiest way to say. But when you're just like existing, but you don't feel like you're living, you don't feel like you're contributing to anything, or you don't feel good about certain things, or when you're always, or you don't have control. You don't have control of your life, or you're so scared of losing control. I think is about just not being like at peace with whatever is kind of going on. And that's kind of how I see it in myself. Like, if I'm just existing and I'm not doing anything, then I feel like something is off.
Right.
Something is off.
I feel like that could be hard too, because a lot of us, we wasn't at peace from birth. You know what I'm saying? So you can't even identify that. Oh shit! Like this is not what, like, this behavior or this love or whatever that I'm receiving. This isn't right. Like, this is unnatural. But because we've been you've been dealing with some shit for so long, you think this is like this is how it's supposed to be.
And
like,
it's breaking a lot of the stigmas that we talk about on Black and Therapy podcast. And
right.
We talk about a lot of the myths in therapy, but also in grad school. It's funny because you talked about that sex toy story, and I think a lot of our grad school experience was like a lot of sex therapy. I feel like we had a plethora of classes on like sexuality, and when you were saying like, oh, the sex toy, like, is it what did you say? Something about it like some freaky shit. Hold on now, because what did our Dr. Mark teach us? Like, we learned about all types of stuff, and like obviously how people come to therapy with these things. But like, to your point, we have to break our minds out of those things. You feel like you wasn't at peace since birth because of all of the things that you kind of went through already, probably as soon as you came out the womb.
Right.
But we have to break those barriers and knowing like what was. And it's just so many things that I think that people are like set in their ways about, and you realize that like you were brought up a certain way, you were taught, like you could have been taught trauma, you know the things that you went through, and you was never taught how you express yourself, how to go about things. Men should do this, women should do this, like certain things, this American dream that we all want to have. It's so many things that's like ingrained into our minds. And if you believe those things and that's the things that you want to work towards, that's fine. But if you know that there's a difference and you know that there's something that's not right here or that I don't believe in, you just gotta adjust those stereotypes.
And I think it's like our generation needs to start breaking those things, because
I think right now we are in a space where like you can't be ignorant to a lot of things. It's like the information is there.
And we can't allow our parents to continue it. Like, even with my nephews, like my parents would be like, or anybody would say like, stop crying, stop doing this, stop doing it. Like, no, they have feelings. Let them cry.
I literally just said that.
Let them feel anxious. Like,
I think I just talked about this in another episode when he was crying or something. And I told him, stop crying, boys don't cry, something like that. I'm like, you know what? I probably shouldn't tell him he shouldn't cry, because like he gonna be older and feel like he can't show his emotions and stuff like that. So you could cry, but eventually, like, all right, get yourself together, get back up. But
but I find myself doing it too. Like, we have to teach our boys and even our daughters, like, it's okay to cry, even feeling anxious, like with them on this like school on the computer. Like, my nephew was doing something one day, and my dad just was like, sit down. I'm like, he's anxious, like, and I know I'm a therapist and I know I can see things that other people can't, but it's like, this is how we were raised, and I'm not going to allow y'all to put that on them because I know better. And I think once you know better, you have to challenge the norms. Like, if this is the norm, and it's like, let's challenge that.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know, and I always say this every time. I'm like, I don't know if because we're therapists now that we see all of this like mental health in the Black community, or if it's like real. Is it just because it's what I surround myself with?
Well, you probably,
or is it real? Like, you tell me. Is it real?
Yeah. You probably notice it more because you can recognize it.
But also,
easier,
I think the pandemic kind of like made people recognize their own mental health. But again, I don't know. I hope it's for real. I hope it's just not like me.
I think it's for real.
I think it's real.
I had a client call me today, and like, I don't know where my sorority that gave like the information. Mm-hmm. But she was like, well, can I have a session today? And I'm like, ooh, like, no, you can't have a session today. Again, and that's our boundaries, because I know I had to do this. I wasn't going to be like pigeonholed to a schedule today. But again, like her need for it so immediate. Like, can we do it today? I think is becoming a real thing.
Right, definitely.
So what was it that made y'all want to even be therapists in the first place?
So I was going to Bloomsburg for mass communications. Like, so I was definitely not thinking about listening to white problems all day long. I lost a friend to suicide. And from his death, I was like, all right, well, I got to do something now. Like, I'm a helper, like, and a fixer. So I'm like, okay, so I got to do something now to fix this. So I started my nonprofit. And just as I began to do the nonprofit and do the work, it's like, all right, well, let me go back to school for this. Like, let me finish undergrad, focusing on this. And I'm also a preacher, too. So, like, that's where my undergrad in biblical studies comes in it. But when I got my undergrad, it's like, all right, well, you can't stay here like this, because if you only get an undergrad in behavioral health or anything, like, you really can't. You're going to be pigeonholed to like TSS work and all those things. Oh, okay. And so when I was like, I got to go back to grad school, and I had a friend that was kind of on that same track, and I saw her do it, so I'm like, all right, well, I can do it. And so that's when I went back to Lincoln to get my master's in counseling, and that's where it started from his death. Like that kind of changed the trajectory of my life.
I tried a TSS job for like a day. It was like, I'm not about to be chasing these little niggas around. Hell no. Like, it's just not, it wasn't for me, but it was like, it was definitely like, I can't, like, my hat goes off to anybody who work in mental health field, like at all. It's just like, nah, I can't do it. But what is some
Donna ain't tell her story.
Oh, I'm sorry,
No, but I wanted to get what happened.
Talking to Mike, Donna. Talking to Mike.
Y'all know. Right, always a struggle. My undergrad is in criminal justice, so I work with like sex offenders. I work with like in the criminal justice system, kids and stuff like that. And I also was a case manager. And as a case manager, I was going into schools. I was meeting with therapists, and again, I worked for like a community base, so there's like black people, like they like, oh, you should do this, like listen, like they would just tell me like, oh, what else you gonna do? Like we just started I'm building relationships with TSS workers, behavioral health specialists, like because I'm seeing these kids and I got kids that's in the family, and you're like, you just build a connection to people, and they like, you should look into it, and I'm like, okay, let me see. My job had tuition reimbursement. Listen, it was aligned. I'm like, okay, tuition reimbursement. I'm still gonna be able to work on my job. Like it was just like, okay, let me go further because I wanted to help the kids more. It's funny because as a case manager, I wanted to help them more. Like as a therapist. As a therapist, I want to help them more. It's like, well, listen, this is it. So yeah, I basically just work with a lot of therapists, and then it was like, let me just go back.
Okay, yeah.
And that's how it happened.
I got a lot of friends of mine that's in the field. Like either they doing case management, TSS work, like they like social workers. It's like I got I want to say like 20 of my friends that's like in that field.
I feel like everybody work for KUA.
Yeah,
I just quit.
Yeah. It's like
literally just quit this year.
Yeah, I just quit.
Everybody work for KUA or DHS.
Because you know what, I quit because to Donna's point, I want to help y'all beyond. I can't just keep putting band-aids on this. Like family history of trauma and what y'all just gonna keep going on this same cycle. I can't keep putting a band-aid on it. So that's when I was like, I gotta focus on either Dare to Hope or really building up this clientele for therapy because this ain't it.
Yo, our generation would quit a job like in a heartbeat.
Listen, millennials, you ain't about to work us to death.
Like, oh, I can't get off Tuesday. Man, I'm out. Like,
bye.
That should be out. Like, no, like, all right. So on your last episode, right? Y'all talked about losing somebody, right? One thing that I struggle with a lot is just loss. Like, like if it's not someone close to me, or maybe somebody close to someone that I'm cool with, and they lose someone, I never know how do I comfort or just be there with that person. So for me personally, what I used to do is I try to change the subject. Like I try to remove them from that. Like yo, let's go out real quick, so you get your mind up. I'm that person. Like I don't know how to deal with someone who's dealing with loss. So I just want to ask y'all, what would you recommend in that, for as far as dealing with loss? And I know everyone has their own grieving process and everything. I understand that, but what is the person that's on the other side? Like say like your girlfriend or boyfriend, they lose someone close to them. Like, how do I deal with that? Like I remember my ex, she lost somebody close to her. It was a guy. And the way I felt about it was like, all right, you crying a little too much now. Like, like the first day was cool, but now it's just like, all right, it's a week later. Like, all right, like, come on, like, what really was going on? But yeah, how do you help someone that's grieving? Like, this episode of Unrecognized Real is sponsored by PS It's Natural. PS Natural is a family brand committed to providing natural hair and beard care products you can trust. Their lightweight, versatile formulas are for all hairstyles and hair types. PS It's Natural have products for the entire family and truly believe it's not just hair. Visit their website at www.psitsnaturalllc.com and use our promo code UNRPOD. Again, that's UNRPOD for 20% off your first purchase. And you can also follow them on Instagram at psitsnatural_LLC. But yeah, you was talking about just dealing with someone, helping someone deal with grief, like right,
and just being okay with that awkward silence, and and even being okay with tears. I think you don't always have to react to somebody crying. Like, you don't always have to put your arm on somebody. You don't always have to pet them on their back. Like,
that's it. I can't.
You don't
I
feel like
you awkward. Like,
I gotta leave. Like,
it's something we were taught.
If somebody's crying in front of me, it's so hard. Like,
my old boss, right? I was at her house the day that her mom died. I didn't know what to do, so like she was hysterically crying.
I'm
like,
cracking out, bro. I'm cracking out. Like,
no, I was at her house. We were cool. I was at her house.
Okay,
like,
all right, okay.
And I just didn't know what to do. like. But I stayed in where I was. Like, I knew she was crying. I didn't know what to do. So her husband came in and like comforted her. And
where was your hands? Like,
I was on the couch, like, because at that point I didn't know what to do. Like, I wasn't comfortable with tears. Now I know I can. Now I'm very confident. I can walk in the room and I can sit across some clients that cry and don't cry.
Right.
Like, I mean,
I could do that, but I don't want to just sit here and watch you.
And I can watch them cry.
It's crazy. I can't.
And I can sit across from a client and watch them cry. I'm gonna
laugh or something.
I'm like, here's some tissues over there.
I'm gonna be the emotional one and start crying with him and shit. That's why I can't be no therapist.
But we did so many different like scenarios.
Oh my god.
And like watch so many. I don't know where our professors found these craziest like most emotional movies they could find, like almost like shock us. And they'll like, some things do make you cry. Like sometimes people do like. And you gotta be like, suck it in. Like, you know what I mean? Because you can't cry in front of the client.
You can't cry with them. I mean, I cry, you cry, we cry together. Like,
no. We both can't be in there hysterically, like, wiping our eyes. Like, no, you gotta get it together.
Right, and that's a part of the self-awareness because we also learn how to learn what type of clients we can't deal with. If you feel like you can't deal with crying, listen, you gotta adjust what type of therapist you gonna be. Because we had, a lot of people have a preference on what type of clients they will and won't work with. And that's a part of being a therapist, saying like, I'm going to refer you out. This is not something that, you can personally handle. Because say you're a therapist and you have gone through something and it's like, you can't go through that again with your client. Maybe that's literally as part of your self-awareness, right. However traumatic it was. Maybe you can't deal with someone who lost a parent because that brings way too many, therapists are we people too.
True.
So sometimes it's, because I know Sarah used to be so uncomfortable with crying. People crying, she didn't ever know what to do. People always was crying in front of her.
Because I'm like, she the pastor. Like, stop calling me.
They
stop.
definitely
Remember
crying
that time?
to you.
One of our classmates ran out the room and started crying.
And we looking at
and they like, Sarah, go see about it. And I'm like, that was first semester. So I'm like, again, I'm not comfortable with tears. I'm not doing it. To the point where our professor was like, nobody gonna go after her. We was like, and our professor had to go. But this is what you do, sis.
Right.
Yeah. So you just gotta. I don't know. If it's something you uncomfortable, you gotta show up for that friend. And we talked about this in our episode. You gotta show up for that friend how you feel comfortable with showing up too.
Okay,
you can't let that person's whatever they're going through. You can't let it affect you because then what? Like, and hopefully that person is someone who's gonna say like, are you available for me to release this information? Like,
and that's a question too that we need to ask people. Like before we just start calling with some stuff. Like,
it's on people like, hold up now.
Wait, can you listen? Like, how are you right now? Do you have time to listen?
No, really, because that could be draining. And I really had a friend that did that all the time. And it was like, I feel like it was never nothing good. It was never, let's go out. It was always, let me tell you how. And I just put my phone on speaker. I'm just like, like, what's up now?
Probably show up as that person.
Yeah, because I feel bad if I don't listen. Because it's just like, I don't never know. People are always bad on the things they don't talk about all the time. So even if she's talking to me and she seemed like she fine, I don't know if she crying on her pillow at night. So I'm like, all right, this is how you gonna vent, go ahead and vent. But that should be like every day. Sometimes I look at my phone like, shh. I'm like, all right, if she don't call back, then I ain't gonna answer. If she call back, damn, let me answer the phone. But I don't know.
I got a friend that does that, but he'll try to one up you. Like, he be like, yo, bro, like my girl cheated on me. She stabbed my mom. He like, bro, let me tell you, my girl, she's dating my grandpop now. Like, you're like, yo, what the fuck, bro? I tried to call you for my therapy. You trying to one up it. It's like, what the hell? Like, but like something you just said that definitely stood out. You talked about showing up for your friend. How you feel. I feel like that's definitely important because it's like I don't know how I can show certain people is like, yeah, I don't know. Like, do you want me to cry? Like, you want me to be the one that's like,
if you don't feel like you need to cry, why you crying?
Or no, I'm saying like, do they want me to cry? You know what I mean? They calling me because like, bro, I need you to like, or do they want me to be the one to agree with them? Because I be hard. I can't be that one. Like,
be yourself. Be yourself.
Yeah, I be the one that like, all right, bro, you wild. Like, first of all, you shouldn't have cheated. Let's get that out the way first. Like.
But then you be like, do you want my advice? Because I don't
even ask. I just give it.
Somebody comes to me with something, I'm like, do you want me to tell you? Because sometimes it's like, hold up now.
I don't even ask. If you tell me, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think. Like, look.
But the crazy thing with that is, even some people won't even ask your advice, or they'll tell you a story and be like, all right, well, let me tell you. They'll try to debate everything you just said. I was like, well, what the fuck did you tell me the story for?
And if y'all listen, if y'all listen to watch this podcast, y'all know I'm gonna go with you the whole way. Everything you bring up, I'm gonna like, all right, well, look, how about this? Like, so it's just like, nah. I think that's definitely important though. Like, definitely, like, you know, show up for your friends. It's just sometimes, you know, like for me, when I was dealing with shit, it was at some point in time I did need to dump it into somebody else. Like, you know what I mean? And I was fortunate enough to have people that I could do that with. I actually have a relative of mine who dumps like I don't like Leah said, I don't like answer her phone call because I know it's gonna be. I'd be happy until as soon as I talk to her. That shit is the worst shit ever. Like, I feel bad as hell. She like, all right, it was so good talking to you too. I'm like, look, like,
that's why you gotta set them boundaries. Like,
yeah, like it's
we already
just
talked about that.
Right.
Like, you gonna get a good 5 minutes of my time. Like, you not about to dump everything. Like, Cause we can't carry everybody's stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So no, like you guys set boundaries on that phone call.
Right.
Like if you know it's gonna mess up your whole day,
Nope.
Yeah.
Right. Wait till you about to go to sleep, but then you might have a bad dream.
I know.
Just boundaries though.
Right. But if you're gonna be that friend that's gonna be that, like, maybe your friends know that you're the friend that's gonna agree with them.
Right.
If you can be like, yeah.
No, my friends know. They've been vocal about that. They know I'm not the one to do it. I'm the rational thinker. Like, one of my friends was drunk as hell. He told me this. Like, look. He was like, look, if I'm going through some shit, I'm not calling you because you won't rationalize the situation. Like, he definitely told me this. Like, I was like, all right, you probably right. But yeah, I do think definitely, like, show up for your friends or your now I want to tell y'all more so about relationship wise, right? Now, being able, because y'all got these what's it called, microscopes, like on your eyes. Like, how hard is it for you to be in a relationship with somebody? You pick them apart, like, oh yeah, you sucked your thumb when you was a 3-year-old, huh? Like, how hard is that to deal with that? Like, because mind you, I dated someone that was a therapist, like, so it was the worst shit ever. Because like she swear like she know everything. Like, all right, like, okay, like, yeah, no, because I went to school. Like, all right, okay, I get it. Like, what the fuck? Like, you went to school 8 fucking years, okay? Like, now you think you know everything? Like, no, your shit stink too. Like, but
I feel like you got a little hostility, like,
right?
Like,
I'm traumatized. Listen, I'm trying. Look, it might be a rap for that. I might listen. But no, how it, like, is that tough for y'all personally? Is that tough for you?
So I haven't been in a relationship since I graduated school. So.
It's a reason for that, like, because you was there.
But I can look back now on my previous relationships and be like, oh yeah, something was definitely wrong. I've dated, and I think that a few of them not a few.
Wait, I'm looking at Donna face.
I'm looking at Donna for like some people have brought up the fact that I'm trying to therapize them or whatever the word means. And I think that things sometimes just come so natural. Like, I don't think, they always say like you could take off your therapist hat. Like, I don't think we can ever take off our therapist hat because that's the way the lens that we look out of now. Right. And so it is hard to have conversations that you don't want to seem like you're being a therapist, but you also want to help the person process what they're dealing with. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I hope that I don't come off as, somebody that's always pushing my, or speaking from my therapeutic lens. Like, I will hope somebody can enjoy a relationship with me. And we can have conversations and not be like, oh, you think you know everything because I went to school for 8 years. But,
Yeah. I kind of feel like... how Sarah feels. Like, sometimes it's like I see things. I feel like this one particular person that came to mind, and Sarah probably know who I'm talking about. Like, I pulled up the DSM-5 and was like, he bipolar. Like, it was, and I knew it. But I'm like, you know what? Let me open my DSM. Okay, this, like, and you just couldn't tell me this man wasn't bipolar. Like, I'm like, he is definitely bipolar. The manic, and then the depressed, and it was, and then in the DSM-5, which is the manual that we use to diagnose.
Okay.
It's like specific, so it's like for a specific period of time. It's really specific. It's not just like, oh, you bipolar because your mood switch up. Like, no, it's a specific amount of time. It go from manic to depressed states and stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, so on Monday, like, mind you, I'm talking to this man, so I'm like, oh no, like, I have done that. But honestly, I feel like in dating and like talking to people, I don't really feel like Sarah be like, put your therapist head on. Like, you don't see all these signs of crazy. We don't use crazy, but you don't see all these signs, and I'm like, I don't think
I just want to enjoy the moment. Okay, and date a psycho. Enjoy the moment with your psycho.
Did y'all see the movie Malcolm and Marie?
Yes, I did.
You seen it? Did you see it? No, you don't see that.
I
I've heard things.
I feel like they was the way they was reading each other and saying it was like, first of all,
is that the one where it was like
they
only
argued,
2 people in the whole movie?
Yeah.
They argued the whole movie.
Yeah, the whole movie.
They went from the kitchen, the bedroom, the backyard, back to the kitchen.
First of all, I knew she was insane when she made him stovetop like mac and cheese, like easy mac. She made that like I thought she was about to cook up something something nice. She
but
came with the crab like that. They both insane. That's why I showed like what the fuck. Like, he just came from a successful night.
Yeah, that was awkward. Like, why you not eating lobster and something? Like,
this is weird. Yeah,
why didn't you leave the house?
It started off like they came in. Yeah, like
after the
whole movie.
It started off like that. Like
it was a home argument.
The next movie.
I cut it off. Like
I've heard some things about it. I actually couldn't finish it.
Yes.
That's what I gathered from it. Like I was like
the only word I heard about this movie was toxic. That's all I heard. I ain't even finish it.
They start getting crazy. They got crazy.
Right.
Like,
and it was again, I guess because we don't communicate in the moment. So like they were bringing up stuff from like, when you did that, and it was like, why you ain't say nothing when they happened? Like,
right.
So.
See, that's my issue too. Like going back to relationship, I'm about to ask you. I'm about to have my session right now. Like go back. Like so, I was talking to my friend about this before. Like in my past relationship, right? Relationships, because I don't want nobody to think that I'm talking about them anyway. So like in my past relationships, I had issues where we would beef so much, like we couldn't be together more than 3 days. On the 4th day, it was World War II. It didn't matter what the fuck was going on. Like we couldn't be together for more than 3 days. So like what I started was I would have like issues, right? I would have issues with whatever it was, and I used to sit on it because we be in like a good space, like look, shit cool, like she cooking food, like we good, like let me not bring this up today, like let me just hold this to another day, try to wait for a good time to bring this shit up. And of course, I don't never bring it up until we argue, and then that's where it come out, and then now it don't even get the attention it deserves because it's being overshadowed because or what's going on currently or what's going on and shit. And it's like how do I or just anybody in general, like when you dealing with that type of situation where it's like you feel scared to like, or you feel like you don't want to run this person away, or you don't want to mess up what's going on, like how do you break that? Like, all right, look, I really want to talk to you about how your feet stink, but like
it's in your delivery. It's in your delivery, and I think that a lot of times when we argue, we be saying stuff that we don't even like. That's not what we mad about. Mm-hmm. Like, and we'll like be saying all this other random stuff instead of saying specifically what the issue is. So you'll say all this stuff, like, you need your sneakers everywhere, you do this, you do that, and really your issue is that her feet stink.
Right.
Like, say what it is instead of saying all this other nonsense, because at that point we're just saying stuff to hurt the other person. We're not saying stuff to really get our point across at that point. So
Marie, just like the movie. Yeah.
So it's like my answer to your question is to be specific and it's all in your delivery, but also do it in the moment. Like, why do we have to be afraid of having this big fallout argument if we communicate effectively? Everything is not a 10. Right. So like her speech thinker could be a 1, but you done made it a 10 because you done had all this other stuff, and then she done said something that got on your nerves, you triggered, and now you everything else.
And if she holding it,
and then her feet stink, and guess what you never talk about? Her feet stinking.
Right. and I don't know. I got issues. I probably need a session. Right. That
wasn't the relationship for you, huh?
Yeah, like it was just.
And my take on certain things like that is more so like, I just feel like it shouldn't be that many issues. Like, I mean, relationships aren't easy. Like, you got to put in the work. But you talking about somebody you was dating, like, I'm dating you and we haven't like. This is
red flags. We talked about it on the show, right?
Yeah. You get exit when you see the red flags.
Certain things you just should not go through in a dating phase of things. Like,
no, that's for real.
It's just not.
Give me something that you think that. First of all,
that's a red flag. Fighting and arguing, not dating.
Depending on what it is, like we might have because we might have a disagreement about something that you feel strongly on at that moment. So
why we can't just talk?
That's just a disagreement. Like,
why we can't just talk through it?
Some people don't, like you said, the delivery. Some people don't know how to talk. See, you know what? Some people say don't worry about how I said it. It's what I said.
No, but how you say it definitely matters because you're not about to talk to me any kind of way.
Exactly.
I don't know. Like, I don't know.
That's it.
I ain't the one. I just feel like, I feel like who says it and what they say definitely matter too, because something coming from my mom is gonna be felt different if it's coming from my dad. Like, nigga, what? I know your dumbass ain't telling me this. Oh, fuck out of here. No, but yeah, I feel like, in the heat of things, like if so let's say I'm Christian and the woman I'm dating is Muslim, right? I'm just saying, I'm just giving an example. Like, so we might have something that's like you feel strongly about that we disagree on. So in that sense, it might turn into an argument. Like, I speak loud sometimes when I'm trying to prove a point. So now people might take that as I'm yelling at them. Like, no, like, I get a little hype. I might.
So what we need to do before we get into these relationships is really have conversations about how do you like to be communicated with. We talked about love languages. Like, what's your love language? Like,
I don't believe love language, but go ahead.
Okay.
How you even believe it?
I read love languages and all of them apply. Like,
it's not about all of them. It's about your.
Which ones do you prioritize?
That's what I'm saying. No, they all apply. Like, at some point in time, like, it's I like to receive gifts. Like
something makes you feel more loved than the other.
Yeah, like you could.
Other things.
Yeah, but
something make you feel more loved.
Only women prioritize things they love. Like, only women do that.
No, men do it too.
Men do it too.
And that's why.
You might not be big on somebody buying you gifts, but you might be big on bigger than on quality time or something.
Yeah, you gotta expose me, like.
I was going to say,
y'all need to know. That's why. Y'all need to know.
No, but you do like to be loved a certain way, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. Is certain things that you appreciate more than others, and that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So your love language is real once you put it in there.
Well, I'm gonna just say I don't know my love language.
Just say that.
I feel like first of all, it can't just be 5 love languages. Let's just get that out of the way. Like,
it might be.
It might be more, but I feel like they summarize it. Okay.
Like, my love language might be like not waking me up before 6. Like, that might be my love language. Like
you might feel real. Like, I feel so loved when she tell me how handsome I am or how much I mean to her.
I feel love when you don't turn the light on when I'm fucking sleeping at. Like, all right, you gotta get ready for work, but listen, I don't. Like, come on, keep the noise down. Like, I feel love that way. Like,
that would be like consideration. Like when she
is that one of the love language? I don't know. It's it gotta be more than 5 love languages. Like, it definitely gotta be that. Like, I don't know. Like, what's your love language? Since we on the topic, then.
I would say mine is all of them, but I do prioritize them differently.
Which one? Which one you
like? My first one is quality time. The second one is physical touch. What was the other one? Words of affirmation. Mm-hmm. I would say that one is third. Acts of service, and then gifts.
So, quality time and touch, right? Physical touch. I feel like they go hand in hand. So me and you could never mess with each other because I don't be having time for shit. Like, you might get 2.5 days out of the week.
No, but it's not quality time as in being clingy, because the type of person I am, like, which is probably one of the reasons why I'm not in a relationship right now, but it's because I'm okay with isolation. Okay. And it was a situation where, like, for a day, maybe a day and a half or something, I didn't answer the phone. And this was me in person. We was just dating at this time, so we wasn't
didn't answer the phone.
I didn't answer the phone. It wasn't
like you saw the call. I
saw the call. And I didn't answer the phone.
No, you got wrong with me.
No, because I randomly just get in moods, and people that know me for know, like, oh, she probably just gonna call me back later or whatever. But I get in moods where I just don't want to talk. Like, I won't answer my phone.
Did you call him back?
I did call him back.
Oh, all right, that's different.
But in the span of time, he called me almost 20 times. So I'm like,
oh yeah, now you joined, yeah, okay. Yeah,
so and then it wasn't even just that he called me 20 times. It was that when I finally did answer the phone or call him back, he was outside my house. So I was kind of scared.
That's why he was calling you. Like, listen, like,
I don't like that though. I don't like, especially if we're only dating at this time. Like, I don't want you. I'm okay with not talking to you for a certain period of time. I'm okay with not seeing you for a certain period of time. I do that to my friends all the time.
Right.
Sometimes they know if I don't talk to them for a week or two, ain't nothing wrong with me. I just don't feel like it. Like, I'm just that type of person. I'm not out all the time. If I'm not at work, I'm home. And if I'm at home, I'm okay. Like, it's not nothing going on. I just don't be feeling like it.
What's your love?
Yeah, I'm really. I feel like my first is definitely quality time, but I definitely don't need to be around people. Like, I feel like I don't be answering my phone. Sarah probably be like, yeah, she definitely don't be answering her phone sometimes. Like, or I'll just, like, I don't need to be in someone's space all the time, but, like, I do feel the most love I want to feel the most love, like, when we are together, right? So, like, when we together, I feel like And I think it make it more like better. Like it got to be the most phenomenal 24 hours if I'm only gonna have 24 hours this week or however. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So my first one is quality time, and my second one is probably it go affirmations and gifts, but not like I brought you all this stuff, but more so like I
you said gifts? Nah, you said
no. Like maybe she might mention something that he
like gift is a gift.
I knew. I remember you said you like these chocolate covered strawberries from Godiva. You and they just pop up. I'm like, oh,
chocolate covered strawberries like $80 now. Like that's a little grip. Like go to Edible Arrangements, see how much you gonna spend. Like,
first
of all, I'm off Edible Arrangements because what I ordered and what I got wasn't the same. I'm like, hold up, no.
Yeah, it's a little different. What's your love language?
Definitely quality time. My second one is acts of service. I do a lot of events and stuff. So, this particular person I was dating, like for him to be able to like help set up and take down the stuff, like that's important to me.
Right.
Going to take my car to get like detail, like
that's
stuff
easy.
that I don't do because I just don't like to do it. And then physical touch would probably be my round out my top three.
That was a layup. Like, you got an event? Oh yeah, I'm coming. Like,
you know what I mean?
That's an easy job.
Especially when I didn't expect him to stay as long as he did and do everything he did. Like it was like, damn, like I like that.
Oh, all right.
Oh, so y'all both got physical touch. I
like physical touch too. Like I think anybody. I mean, most part. I don't know. Do they got something to do with astrology? Probably.
Why? Cause you're a Cancer.
Yeah, like.
But I'm a Cancer
right?
too.
Yeah, we a Cancer. Yeah, I don't. I think I'm a Cancer. I don't know, man.
You like right? We right on the cusp.
Put up that chart. It says so much dumb. Like, oh yeah, your Pisces is in summer, so that makes you fucking Virgo. Like what? I don't know what. Like.
But you a June Cancer.
June 23rd.
That's like a cusp.
That's like right. Yeah, you right on the cusp.
That's like Gemini.
I'm a Gemini. Yeah, like. Yeah, like, oh, that's a red flag.
Nobody like Gemini.
Nobody like Gemini. Nobody like Gemini. That's a red. Like,
okay.
Except for Geminis. Like,
I do like some Geminis, but it's like a couple Geminis be like, all right, I know why we friends, but if I didn't like you that much, we probably wouldn't be friends because it's like,
I don't
Cancers,
know.
I feel like my favorite people are probably like Cancers, Pisces, type of people.
That's another thing I ain't really.
I mean, you're Capricorn. I like you too. You alright.
That's another thing I ain't really in on astrology. I'm like over my head, but all right. So to cap off, just therapy. Can y'all tell me different types of therapy? Because I feel like certain things, like this is therapeutic to me. Like just talking about some shit that was in my mind, on my mind. You know, like not the focus ain't even me. You know what I mean? Like this is therapeutic to me. Can y'all tell me different ways of just a therapy like?
Well, that would be like self-care. Self-care is obviously a form of therapy. Journaling, medication is a form of therapy.
Marijuana, okay. my diet Henny. When I get my diet Henny, that's no. All right.
Alcohol can have adverse.
It's more of a coping skill.
Yes, right.
Oh, so
negative coping skill.
Okay.
Put the bottle down, Reese.
Can sex be a therapy? Y'all mentioned
safe
sex before, like safe sex. So
safe sex.
I mean,
okay,
I guess that
not reckless, like no, not like casual. You know what I mean?
Not
but just
unsafe.
Like a sexual, like say like you in a relationship with someone.
Yeah, sex can be.
Okay,
long
but
as
it's
you're
not
safe.
a form of like getting over whatever y'all arguing.
Hell, I found that out bad too. Yeah, I found that wrong.
It does
too.
It releases things. Mm-hmm. So when you said types, I was thinking more like solution focused there. I was thinking like,
I feel like, well, those you mean like outside of like just seeing the therapist? Because when you go to a therapist, the therapist is going to, I guess, assess and then use a form of therapy.
Okay.
Outside of like the things that we said, like the things that you can do. I feel like those are like things that we normally talk about. Like,
like people that's listening that maybe right. I mean, I think anybody that's listening, they should just go see a therapist. Mm-hmm. But however, what are some other methods of therapy is what I meant, I guess.
Yeah. So what we just said.
Yeah.
Right.
Having a plant, like getting plants. I know that's the new wave now. Mm-hmm. People have like plants. I bought a plant.
A plant. I thought you said plants.
No, plants. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's the most common form is like cognitive behavior therapy, which is more so like changing the way you think about certain things. Mm-hmm. And then it's obviously like solution focused, where it's focusing on the solution. Okay. But it's a lot of different therapies. Like therapies is like, okay, what type of is one particular one that me and Sarah did a lot in grad school is where like it's called Gestalt therapy, and one thing you do in that therapy is like talk to an empty chair of that person that like is a chair.
Wow.
What would you say to this person, right? So we recorded ourselves doing this. So I'm talking to somebody who has wronged me or has maybe like whatever they've done to you sexually. It's like whatever you want to say to somebody. And you're literally looking at this chair as if they're there and crying or whatever. So that's the form of therapy. But it's a lot of forms of therapy that a therapist may use depending on like what the diagnosis is. Obviously, like if you got bipolar, schizophrenia, it's not going to be the same type of therapy if you going to therapy because you going through a breakup.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Right.
But yeah, there's a plethora of them. But the things that people can do is, you know, the things that are out there: meditation, journaling, just talking to a therapist because that's kind of like safe, like the basics. Of
right.
things.
Okay. Cool. That's good. That's good. So anybody listening out there, like, yo, go get your therapy on. Like, I feel like it's definitely important. Like I said, it took me 10 years to realize, like.
So did you get?
Which is normal.
I didn't get a therapist, but I seek therapy. Like I didn't because I'm in the Army, so like we have certain resources that's available to us. And at that time, when I realized it, I was away. I wasn't home. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I set up an appointment. I spoke with somebody, and we was talking about it, whatever. And I definitely felt like that release. It felt really good. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, like I was able to. Like personally, I was able to realize, like, yo, I really had a lot of shit that was going on at the time that I wasn't aware of at that time. Like, like it was just like I had a whole identity crisis that I was having. Like, I didn't know who to like I said, I spoke on the last podcast. I told people like, yo, I really was telling people my name is Reese. Like, I introduced my name. My name is Maurice. For anybody that don't know, like my real name is Maurice, but I refused to tell people like, yo, introduce myself as Maurice. I feel like Maurice died in Afghanistan. Like. And Reese was born. Like that was like a whole different. Like I told you, I really was going through some shit. So and I didn't realize it at that time. It took me fucking 10 years later. Like you know, but so I definitely think, I definitely recommend for anyone. Like definitely therapy. Yeah.
You ever went to therapy, Leah?
I did for a little, probably like 6 months. I went, and that was probably like. I don't even know what happened. This is during the pandemic, actually. I started going like last year. Because I remember like, it was like when everything was going on with the rioting and people dying. And I was tore up. I don't know what was going on. I was just in the house crying. I'm like, yo, something is wrong with me. I wouldn't get up out the bed. I was calling out from work. I'm just like, oh, I don't know what's going on.
Damn, I definitely had
self-awareness.
Yeah, like I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like I've always been like an empathetic person. And I never took loss well. And I realized that after my dad passed away. And then it was like a snowball effect because my dad and my cousin passed away on the same day. Wow. So it was like ever since then, it's like anybody passed away, like I'm just in tears and I'm just like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Right. But after going to therapy, I feel a lot better, and that was the reason why I actually did the journal that I came out with. Because I'm like, all these techniques that the therapist was giving me, it worked a lot. Right. So I just took everything that she was teaching me and some things that I was doing for myself and just put it all in the journal. So it helped a lot. I'm glad I did go.
All right, so again, like I said, therapy, definitely therapy. We gonna move on, Lee.
We can move on
to the ratchet. What was our other topic?
I don't really think it was a ratchet topic though.
You don't think so?
I don't think it was a ratchet topic.
About the single.
Yeah. Okay. That's one of them, right?
I think there was only other.
Yeah,
one.
I took a poll on Instagram. Oh, this was actually a while ago. But I took a poll on Instagram, and I asked, do y'all have any children?
I do.
You have children? How many? One. You got no kids?
I have 2 nephews. I don't have no kids.
Oh, bet this gonna be good then. we get the scoop. We get the full scoop. So I took the Instagram, and I got another topic too. Actually, I'm gonna ask this one first because y'all don't know this one, so it's gonna be more interesting. I asked people, how did you contribute to the ending of your last relationship? And I got a lot of interesting comments. Like I got a lot of interesting takes on it. Like one person said they stopped giving a fuck. Like, but the ongoing thing was they felt like the other person was doing them wrong, so they decided to mimic that behavior, and that's what ultimately ended their last relationship. Me personally, I would tell you, like I said, I spoke before, my last relationship probably most things ended because I held things in because I didn't want to mess up the current situation. Like nah, like we having a good time. Like I might get some ass tonight. Like let me just keep shit cool. But then like later on, then that shit come up and it's like, all right, it's too late. Like you know what I mean. So that's definitely how I contribute to, and in poor communication as well. Like it was some times where I probably made her think I was out doing shit just because I didn't want to tell her what the hell I was doing. Like I was out, I was at the gym, like at the gym. Like she like, yo, where you at? Like anytime somebody asks me where I'm at, I'm looking around like, what you got to drop on me? Like what's going on? Like so it's always like, yeah, nah, like. But yeah, I think that's definitely how poor communication, and then just like holding on to shit that was bothering me. Like, Aaliyah, how did you contribute to the ending of your last relationship?
All right, so I did something I wasn't really proud of.
You gonna tell us?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Right.
So I'm not really big on like putting my hands on people and stuff like that. But I got very, very frustrated because we were having a conversation, and one thing I don't like is when we're having a serious conversation and people start laughing. Because now I just feel like you taking me for a joke. You're not hearing me.
No, you start laughing. Hold up.
And that's really literally how it was. And it was just like, I feel like for one, he wasn't being accountable for anything. It was just like anything that he knew was wrong, he would still try to justify it.
Right.
And I don't like stuff like that. It's like, you did something wrong, you be accountable for it. Like, don't say you're sorry just because that's what I want to hear. Like, are you actually sorry? And my whole thing was, I wasn't even really trying to be in a relationship. That was my biggest thing. It's like, I tried because I'm like, listen, we've been doing this for a little minute. Let's see how I work or whatever case may be. He was the one like, oh, well, it's all or nothing. I feel like I'm not getting everything from you. So I'm like, all right, now once I put everything into it, you start fucking up. So now I feel like you wasting my time. So you wasting my time. I'm sitting here trying to talk to you. You're laughing at me. And we was drinking Hennessy. So we started fighting. I say I'm the first person that swung. He didn't never hit me or nothing like that. But after that, I just felt like, you know what? Once I get to the point where I'm putting my hands on you, I just don't really want to even deal with you no more. Because nobody should get me to that point, and I got mad at myself for even getting out of character like that, because I don't even do that. Right. For real. But it was just like, and the crazy thing was, he still wanted to work it out, and I'm just like, nah, I don't even want to.
You should be behind bars, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that on another day. Like, Donna, how did you contribute to your last? Do you know?
I'm trying to think. I'm thinking, first of all, I got to think about, okay, last relationship. Because you know how, like, you don't be claiming people? You like,
he said last relationship.
I ain't saying like y'all had to be a couple, or I mean, however
she
you
had a relationship. Like,
okay, all right.
She doesn't want to acknowledge this relationship.
It was not.
But she definite googly eyes relationship.
Bye. Okay, well, if we going by Sarah's standards of relationship, how did I contribute to the ending of it? I feel like, again, I feel like that's not, I can't even use that because it wasn't a relationship for me. I feel like I knew, I always.
You can have a relationship with somebody not be in a relationship.
Like, so. I feel like I already knew in the back of my mind of, like, this wasn't it. So I wasn't, like,
so that's how you contribute then. Like, you wasn't all the way in. You wasn't
right.
in. Like,
oh, okay. So you're right. I wasn't. But I definitely feel like I made him believe that I was. I think
wow.
I think he thought I was.
Toxic at his finest, huh? Like,
listen, if I could tell y'all, if I could only tell y'all the whole story, y'all would realize why I was. It was just a crazy situation. It's just like, okay, this is fun, but like low key, like you can't really think that I'm down for these things that you want me to be down for. Like, you can't think that I really am down for this. But he thought I was, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna go with it. So I pretended, and I just, went with it.
Okay. And
it ended because I guess I would have led him on in believing that I was doing some things. So when it came down to it, and he like, all right, like, this is where we at, and I'm like, nope, I was lying. But y'all wouldn't fault me if y'all knew. I'm telling you, it's not my fault.
So how did you contribute to your last relationship?
First of all, I feel very triggered. Because my last relationship
it's definitely triggering, yeah. Like
some BS. I don't think I contributed to my...
You don't think you contributed?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You had to,
what you call it?
Listen, it takes two people.
No,
it takes two people.
Let me tell you, no.
So you don't think you contribute at all?
He was a serial cheater.
Okay.
And I really didn't know. Like, we went to dinner the day before this incident happened. Okay? Mm-hmm. I took him to the barbershop the day the incident happened. I dropped him back off at his house. He said he was going out with his friends.
Oh, so you was doing too much. That's already like you took the barbershop.
So maybe I was doing too much. Maybe that contributed to the breakup. I was doing too much.
Yo, like
the story was off. I popped up back at the house. He's in there with the girl.
Oh, that's why you popped up. That's you contribute there. Why you?
We just went to dinner the day before. So like.
What made you pop up though?
Because his story was not right.
But you should have had trust.
Women's
in
intuition. No, I didn't pop up too.
Trusted him though.
It's not about trust. It's about I know your patterns.
Right. We've
been together for 2.5 years. I know your patterns.
So did he like that situation? Was he cheated? Did he cheat before that?
Yeah, he cheated before that. I should have walked away. Maybe that's how I contributed to. I should have left when you knew it was. When you felt like it was. His mom told me to leave him.
Yeah.
I should have put his mom.
No, that's a dig
giveaway. When the mom said leave him, I should.
If it's ever a red flag, the mom telling you leave her son.
That joint is fire.
Gotta be the red. Like, oh yeah, nah, get out of here,
girl, sis. She's trying to tell me, sis, get out of here. Why you saying?
Yeah, that's definitely like.
So I don't think I contributed to the breakup. I think that it was toxic, and he just was a cheater, and but I loved him.
That was your contribution,
right? Like you aided his, Like you fed that the bullshit.
And not listening, because you better listen to his mama, girl.
I should have. That's the long
you ignore red flags. That's definitely no.
Ignore the red flags.
That's like a big ass
right.
Six Flags. Like that's the top one. Like like definitely like hold the fuck up. Your mom. If your mom say. I don't care if the son or daughter. If the mom say leave that nigga alone. It's I'm done. I'm out. All right, I'll holler at you, bro. We be good. Like
Murray dad, mom said that shit. I should have left his ass alone.
That's a bad dog. Like
that Jasmine Sullivan song.
It's a bad one. Yeah,
it was Jasmine Sullivan.
It was that on it. No, not on it. It was the
put it down.
Put it down.
Oh shit.
Like I ain't listen to your mom.
He was putting it down. He was putting it down.
Music be ruining relationships low key. Like Beyonce owed me some sex just because of the shit that she put me through. Her songs, like, but anyway, that definitely like I feel like that just self reflection. A lot of times, when it comes to like relationship, like man, what I've did was justified by, a lot of us look at it like that. What I've done was justified in, either way. But when you ask somebody like, yo, what did you do to cause the ending? That definitely make you look like, damn, like what did I do? Like, and that's when I realized, like, oh yeah, I was on some nut shit at my times, and I definitely try to take accountability for it. Like, yeah, like I don't want to hear what the other person did. I just want to know what did you do yourself that contribute to it. So it definitely got, it got my mind thinking like, damn, like. All right, okay, maybe I was with some nut shit. Maybe I shouldn't have dropped that girl off at home when she was butt ass naked. Like maybe I shouldn't have did that. Like I don't know. But I took another poll on Instagram.
Wait, you ain't tell us your contribution?
No, I did. I started off selling that. I said I was
holding that. Right.
So I asked people with children. I asked, do you date people with kids? And according to Instagram, 56% said yes. 44% said no.
People with children.
People with children. I'm sorry. People without children. People without children said they would. 50% of them said they would date someone with children, and then 44% said they wouldn't. And I kind of understand the whole concept of that because, well, first of all, let me ask you. Don't got children, right? Mm-hmm. So let me ask you: are you willing to date someone that has children?
So I have been in full-fledged relationships with people that have children. I have been like fake stepmom.
Fake stepmom.
Me and Don had this conversation.
No, it ain't fake stepmom. It's like
unofficial stepmom.
Temporary stepmom. Like
I was mom. Like I was picking up for school, doing all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Me and Don talked the other day, and it's like I would prefer now to date somebody without children because I don't have kids, so I can get up and go when I want to. And it's like when you date somebody with children, and I'm talking to people that have children right now, so it's like, it can't always be like let's do this, or I got the kids today, or they kids. A lot of two of the I sound like I'm out here. their kids live with them, right. So it's like it's always like their schedule, like so that kind of bothers me sometimes because sometimes I just want to get up and go grab something to eat or grab some drinks or come over or us go somewhere, and it's just like when a person has a kid or children, it definitely they're the priority.
They limited a little bit,
and they're limited, and so especially if they're not co-parenting, they're just the parent. There is a limit on how many kids you have. Like 2 is the most, like, and they got to be
2 by the same.
Like they don't gotta be. I would prefer
2 by the same.
But so I think somebody that had kids the same age and had 2 different baby moms. Yes.
Oh, he had project twins. Okay.
So just imagine that.
All right.
But 2 kids is the limit, and then they gotta be like 7 or above. Like I can't do
so not baby, nothing
no
young,
babies.
Okay,
no.
okay.
You probably still mess with your baby mom and all that stuff.
I've been thinking the same thing.
I think I used to think the same thing. That's the first thing that come to mind. Everybody's mind is, oh, you got young kid. Oh, your child only 7. Oh, you still mess with your baby mom? Like what, bro? Like
I don't really think about 7, but if it's like
7 years,
if they like 2 or 3, I be like, nah, you still freaking baby mom.
That's a long. You know how much change in 3 years? Like,
no.
And you know how you can still take
like,
after 3 years now.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, so when I was, so my daughter is 4, right? My daughter's 4. I'm co-parenting, right? So prior to my child being born, I would date women that had children, right? So like I was never I date women that didn't have children. I date women that had children, and honestly, the ones that had children was more, how do I put it? Like they were safer probably, like because I know you're not like. They chilling, like, you know, I gotta go to work, I gotta take my son to daycare in the morning. You know, they was chilling. The women that didn't have kids, listen, like, I'm about to go to Miami. You down to what? Like, it's Tuesday. Like, what the fuck? Like it was a little situation. Like, excuse my language, I'm sorry. But yeah, it was just different situation. So, but I did, like, you know, I dated women that had children, right? So, one of my things was always like, it was more so. I actually, one of my friends would say like I'm a predator, right? And then let me clarify this first before y'all even, because I was okay with dating women that had children, right? And he was saying like, yeah, you a predator because like it would be women that had children, and 9 times out of 10 the father wasn't in the child's life. So that was like a layup for me because it's like it's no barrier. Like it's like, all right, like if you deal with a woman that has a child and the father is present, now it's like another person you gotta deal with. Anybody, like if you're a woman and you're dealing with a dude that has children and the mom is active, like at some point in time you're gonna have to deal with that the child's mother. So that's how I used to, like, at a younger age, of course, I used to like, the dad ain't around, bet, like that's the easy. It's like a driveway versus parallel parking. Like, oh, look, I could just pull it right in through the drive. Like, you know, I'm good. Ain't no barriers. You feel me? So yeah, it was definitely like, you know, my whole thing was like, look, like at first it was like, yeah, woman with 1 child, that's cool. But then it was like, all right, 2 kids, but they got the same dad. You know, it was never like, oh, my quota was two baby fathers. That's 2 different niggas I gotta deal with now. Like, come on, like one day, Tuesday I'm dealing with Charles, Thursday I'm dealing with Larry. Like, come on, I don't get a break. I ain't get a break. Like, you know what I mean? So it's definitely like different. Like now, as you get older, it's harder and harder to find people with no children, like people that's like sane with no children. Like the motherfuckers that ain't got kids. It's the reason why they ain't got kids. Like it's the reason why.
He probably side-eyeing you,
know what I mean? Like no, but it's definitely like you come across people with kids. You like, yeah, I see why you don't have kids. Like you wow, like you wow and.
Or you would say,
I'm not saying you.
No, I'm not saying that you're saying just me specifically, but sometimes goals outweigh without like that.
Well, that's how it should be. Yeah,
right. So my family don't even ask me when I'm having kids. They be like, "Oh, what you doing next?"
Yeah.
Like,
well, I'm
saying like that's why I don't have kids because like I be having a way. Well, that's not right. Thank God I don't have no kids, but like but that's why I'm try to be as safe as I can because I don't want kids right now. Eventually, soon, yes, but not right now.
Well, the same thing with me. Like I'm 32. If anybody don't know, I'm 32. My child was born when I was 28. You know what I'm saying? So that's on purpose. That's not like that wasn't like at 28. All my friends had children. Like a lot of my friends, like it probably was like 2 that didn't have like they had children. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely was like. And I used to look around like, damn, I'm too old. Like the fuck, like. I'm getting old as hell. I ain't got no kid. Like I'm gonna be the one. I'm gonna be 50 by the time my daughter, graduate high school. Like I'm gonna be 50. Like hey, I'm here though. They're like, who grandpa in the 3rd row? Like nigga, that's my dad. Like yo, it is what it is though. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely like it's different reasons. But it's women that I dated and I really like seeing things and like yeah, I see why you don't have any children. Like you different, like you just different, but it's definitely like a stigma sometimes because and it's hard too, like because now you got to think like, damn, do I really want to adopt this, like going from not having no kids and dating somebody that have children, like you automatically in that driver's seat now. It's like this is like it's definitely different. It's definitely different. It's a tough decision to make. Like It's different where it's a child you gotta love and like it's yours. Like, all right, I got it. Right. All right,
these
cool.
Kids be having personality.
Right. Versus somebody you kind of like.
You raised it. I raised this child, so I know.
Like, right. Versus somebody, it's like, I don't really gotta deal with you if I don't want to. Like I could just go like tomorrow, like and no consequences. Like it's definitely a different situation. But yeah, but like I said, like my baby mom had another daughter, so you know, I that was definitely it was definitely a tough situation to deal with. Now the I actually asked Instagram the reverse question though. Like I definitely asked people, parents who got kids, would you date? I asked, would you date somebody with multiple kids? And 40% said yes, 60% said hell no. Like, and I got under. First of all, where you stand on that, Aaliyah?
It depends. Like my ex had kids, but he pretty much had project twins. Like they literally like 6 months apart. But they was like 12 and 13, so it wasn't like I had to. Cool. Yeah, I ain't had to do shit for them, but. Yeah, I ain't really had to do nothing for them. They moms wasn't in the way. He had full custody of his daughter. His son was over all the time, so it was pretty cool. Okay. But like moving forward, like I be trying to like add shit up because I'm like, all right, if I buy this house and it got this many bedrooms and then he got this many kids and I got this many, I'm like, because I only have one right now, so it's pretty easy for me to maneuver. Like I could pretty much always have a babysitter, and
I'm fucking up.
I see you. I could pretty much always get a babysitter. I like traveling and doing stuff like that still. Okay. So imagine me just so happen to fall in love with somebody that got like 3 fucking kids. No, crazy thing is I was on a date. I was on a date with this guy. Mind you, he's like 31. And I'm like, well, I know you said you got daughters. How many daughters you got? He said 4. And I said, so how many baby moms you got? He like, worst case scenario. I said, well, 4 different baby moms. I was like, oh no. And it was just like, it's crazy because I feel like, this all, of course it happened when he was young, because one of his daughters was like probably like 15. Yeah. So he was like, after a while he started getting stuff together. He started getting into like real estate, and, trying to like get his life together. But I'm just like, I can't deal with nobody that got 4 kids, 4 different baby moms. I don't know if you still freaking out them because your daughter little. I'm just like, nah, I'm okay.
What about you, Don? How you feel about it?
I feel like I would rather date somebody who has a child. Right.
Just one. Okay.
I feel like I could do 2. I've only ever dated any guys that had one child.
To your knowledge.
Oh no.
Until they knowledge.
Oh no, hold on, wait. I lied. I dated somebody that had
She was about to fact check you. She's about to bring the picture. She's about to go right to Instagram.
Like, I'm glad to say whatever she want to say right now and answer her own question.
Right to her phone. That's not a question. Her Instagram. Like, hold on.
All right, so listen, y'all. Don't judge me, right? I'm gonna keep it real, right? He had 10
kids. He had 10 children.
I did.
He was looking for a maid. He wasn't looking for no.
Remember, I told you I was acting like I was down, but like the whole situation was never gonna fly.
Okay,
right,
girl. He had a cool soul, didn't he? Like
it was fun. Okay, it was fun.
How did he get away from his 10 kids?
He didn't. He brought them with him. What are you talking about? Like, they went to Dave and Buster's, you know what I'm saying? Like 6 Flags, everybody was there.
Wow.
We went to gang.
But right now, I feel like preferably, like if I had to pick them, all right, he got 1 kid. Hopefully this kid over like, let me see, my son 12, so hopefully they over like 7. Because again, once they young, it's like you still with their baby mom.
Right.
Unless somebody can vouch for this person.
Right.
Like you can vouch that this man not, all right. But preferably 1. I could do 2. I don't care how many baby moms it is. It could be 2. I mean, but again, preferably 1. I don't really like dating men without children because I just feel like they don't have any responsibility. And for me, since I had my son when I was 18, I feel like I've always been a mom. So I feel like I always operate in that space of being a mom. Like I just always was a mom. As long as I've been grown, I've been a mom. So yeah, I'd rather them have a child. I just think it's something different about somebody who has a child and who knows that type of like responsibility and just that type of like it's safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I think it's safer with women that got children because they normally have more of a responsibility than the men. Not to say that the men, like you dating people that have.
Bing would be here arguing with you right now.
Right. He do okay. He do a lot with his kids and stuff. Yeah. Like right. And Sarah, she said she date people like who like have their kids full time.
Sort of.
So like I just like that like that that safety, and I just feel like they just get it. Like, not that we on the phone, like, how about your kids? Like, no, it ain't no like, let's talk about our kids, but it's just like it's just been better. And I don't think I've dated somebody that didn't have kids. Not that I can remember. I be forgetting people, so like. I don't be remembering. Like, I feel like I remember when people talk about date. I be like, all right, let me think. All right, these 3 people would come to mind. I don't be thinking. I forget these Negroes.
Yeah. See, my thing is like, I don't mind. It's so many dating people with children, especially multiple children by multiple people. It open up so many different doors that like obstacles is gonna come around, because you might have one parent that's like. They I don't know, like they're vegan, so they don't want their kid to be around no meat or nothing. And then you got another kid, like I said before, like they a whole different religion, and they forcing that, and it's like, yo, what the hell? Like Tuesday I got to deal with Charles, and then Thursday I got to deal with Reggie, and it's just like I'm fucking burnt out. Like now Friday, fucking Larry come around, it's like what the fuck? Like, so it's definitely like I definitely understand it, and it's like, man, and just the way we move is like. The society now, like co-parent is a thing. First of all, co-parent is a fake word that's made up, because if you're a parent, you're a parent. You're never a fucking co-parent. But we raising this person, right. Co-op, so I get where it comes from, but it's definitely like it's so many like things that we're subjected to now that 10, 20 years ago that wasn't like the norm, but now it's like the norm. Like you walk out this house now, like you dating, like how often do you even run into people that don't have kids? Like
not that often.
It's like almost like you step off this porch at high school, you got a child on the way now. Like that's how it is. Like, like it ain't nothing, like it ain't no real, So it's definitely the dating pool. It get worse. Like if you cut off no one with kids. You cutting off all the people with jobs, basically, like they got a goal in mind, like that shit. Like, That's
why you got. That's before you get into these relationships. Like you gotta. I mean, and granted, you might not meet a person's child before you like in a. Right. You should meet somebody's child before you in a full-fledged relationship. But like once dating is real, like date people. You don't have to be in a relationship with them. Date that person so you know these things. You gotta see Larry, Reggie, and Chris.
Well, saying that that's a whole other thing, because it's like, all right. If I'm dating you and you got children, right? First of all, you introduce your children. I don't know, when, let's say 6 months in, right? You introduce them to your child, right? Well, 6 months, I might even be sure that I like you, so I'm still trying to date you. Now you want to throw junior in there.
If you're not ready to meet somebody's kids, then you set the
right. But I'm saying like it might be a situation like that where it's like, all right, I'm meeting the children, and now I'm trying to figure out if I like the children. But again, like I don't even know if I like you. So it's like, all right, I might like kids. And they seem cool, but now it's like, all right, like
you don't know if you like somebody after 6 months. I feel like, dang, you don't even like her. Not like her.
All right, but not like you to like be with you now, like for you to be introducing me to your kids. You know what I mean? That might be a little bit, a little too much. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like for me, like it took me a while. Like it took me I just like I was talking to somebody for like over a year before she met my child, and honestly, it was on purpose, but not on purpose. I only get my daughter on my days off. So my days off is when I have my daughter. So when I got my daughter, it's daddy-daughter time. So anything else is like, nah, I got my daughter. You know how it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely like how it was. So it's like, all right, if let's say like my daughter is with her grandma, and it was like, all right, well now we could go out. You know what I mean? So that's why like I was saying before, like I had an issue with dating.
Right, because it take you a long time to get to know people because you don't got the time, right?
So now, it definitely was like, and then I had a girl, she was cool with it, like, for a long certain time, but she got kids too, so I guess she was more understanding about it, like, all right, cool, like, but yeah, it's definitely a big ass difference dating, like, people with kids, people with multiple kids, people with no kids, like, it's all, it's up to whatever you able to accept and deal with, like one of the biggest issue with dating people with kids, though, I can tell you, is the way they parent and the way you parent. Oh my god,
I was literally just thinking about
that. Is like,
so I was thinking this one guy, and I realized that I didn't like the way he parented. It was just this one. So it was this one instance. Let me tell y'all. So his child lived with him, right? Mm-hmm. But like, he wasn't doing a lot of stuff for the child. Like, he lived with his grandparents. Like, they were older. But, like, these older grandparents were doing everything for the child, which was like, okay, I understand. Like, you work and stuff, so your grandparents help your child. But we had went away once, and while we was on vacation, like the daughter would bypass the dad to go to the grandparents. Like it was like they was there. It was like the grandparents was the girl parents, and like I'm just like. I don't know. I just feel like I just saw a different part of how he parented. Right. Like it was more like he was like the weak, like the fun person, like the fun uncle, and the grandparents were the parents. Right? Like bathing the child and making sure that I'm like, like
that's where a lot of the issues
hold up
come
now.
in.
How your kid passing you to go to the grandparents and you're literally like the parent?
Yeah. It definitely, like I said, that right there start so many different issues. It's like what the hell, like
people.
I thought we was cool. Like that's definitely like a red flag. Definitely
a red flag.
Like, yo,
hold on now.
Look at that. Like it's like I don't know, but I guess we can wrap this up now. We've been going for a little minute now. Y'all got anything y'all want to just to cap off therapy as well? Y'all want to say? Y'all want to talk about?
Therapy is dope. I just encourage everybody to at least try it, and to understand that it's like the first therapist you go to may not be the perfect fit for you, but to keep trying until you find that right person. Because therapy, and I always say this, like therapy saved my life, and not the point that I was going to commit suicide, but that I wasn't living, and like my life on the other side of therapy is so much better. So that's always,
It's dope.
Right. Always encouraging therapy. Always encouraging people to just talk about and be more aware of who you are, who you want to be, and also obviously follow Black and Therapy Podcast.
Of course.
On Instagram, we drop episodes every Monday.
Well, tell people where we go download your episodos.
We on all platforms: Apple Music, Spotify.
We on Pandora.
I don't know.
All right, get with me. Look, ain't no Pandora.
I don't know.
All right, get with me.
Okay.
You on Amazon?
Well, we'll talk. We'll talk.
Listen, I do this. Look, I do this. So we good talk. Definitely. Like, tell y'all want to give y'all social handles or.
Yeah, y'all can follow me at I Run Dare to Hope. So it's like the number 2 instead of the word 2. So I Run Dare to Hope, and then my Dare to Hope page is Dare to Hope.
Oh, y'all can follow me on Black and Therapy Podcast.
Just Instagram?
Huh?
Just Instagram?
Just Instagram. My personal Instagram is in the bio too. I don't love my Instagram, but
you don't love your Instagram.
I ain't into
Leah, let them know where they can find you at.
Y'all can follow me on Instagram at Aaliyah Michelle Poetry, on Twitter at the A Michelle.
We are still looking for anybody that wants to, come help join the team. We're looking for videographers, and we're also looking for someone who will help run our social media sites. So if you are interested, definitely hit us up, DM anybody, Aaliyah, Bang, me, the podcast page. It don't matter. Definitely, we are looking for anyone that wants to join the team. So yeah, you could definitely follow Brother Bang. He spelled his brother with ER. Definitely on Instagram. You can follow me at Pay-Per-View Reese across multiple platforms, and subscribe to the podcast. We're available across multiple platforms: Apple, Google, Spotify. We on Pandora. We on iHeartRadio. We on Amazon now. So definitely you can check us out.
On YouTube.
Check out the YouTube page. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And stay tuned for more.